Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarSeries, and we are in day 24 of 30 days of group stages. And we're gonna see 6 games today. This is game number 1. We're gonna see Poseidon taking on Na'Vi. For this match, of course, I am not by myself. I am once again joined by Capitalist. Welcome back.
Morning, Sheever. How are you doing?
I am doing a lot better. I now no longer have sniffles. I do, however, have my voice that's not totally up to scratch, but better than
You're just
sniffing.
all messed up, huh?
Well, it's going better, but I guess like casting 6 or more games per day might not be the right cure for my melodies.
Yeah, you
Though I
might
did
be
sleep this
aggravating
afternoon.
the wound.
Yeah, I did sleep like this afternoon, so afternoon nap helps. So hopefully that will work. I have to say I'm very excited for this match. Poseidon has been showing some nice strength lately, and Na'Vi, Na'Vi is still one of the teams that you would expect at the top in any tournament. That doesn't change. But in best out of ones, Na'Vi is one of the top teams that is actually quite susceptible to getting overthrown by a maybe more unknown team, either because they don't know who exactly they're up against and they get caught up by surprise, or they don't take the game seriously. Whichever you think of, it can happen, and Poseidon, I think, definitely a team that can make an upset here.
Yeah, Poseidon's been around the block for quite a while now, so they definitely have a lot of potential. And Na'Vi hasn't been seen as the greatest. They've been kind of faltering a little bit since they came back, but either way, this should be a pretty good game, no matter what happens. We already got bans coming out. OD and Rubik taken away by Poseidon. Interesting Rubik ban. But we got now the Batrider and the Wisp taken away by Na'Vi.
Yeah, a bit of a respect ban there for Poseidon. Don't want to have Kuro with that Rubik anymore. Still leaves the Weaver in the pool, Naga Siren in the pool. You name it, it's still there. I mean, for bans, it's really not that much actually. So Poseidon, they can decide if they want to give the Naga away or if they want to pick it up themselves, and it really depends on how they're going to play things. Of course, Poseidon, formerly known, like a couple formerly known as Virtus Pro, and the Virtus Pro before TI3 was the Virtus Pro that went for Darkseer, Naga Siren, Disruptor. Almost like 50% of the games, they went for that if they could. And well, there was a possibility they could go for that one, but now that they picked up the Visage first, it's gonna be maybe Navi's turn to pick up a Naga Siren, and I think they wouldn't be too sad about picking that one up.
Yeah, I mean, that Rubik, maybe it's just, kind of I mean, I know Kuro plays an extremely good Rubik, but he's not exactly the a high priority support right now. But that does mean that Bane is a little bit better as a support hero, just because Rubik is a decent counter to him. It's very, very easy to steal Fiend's Grip when you're just sitting there channeling the whole entire time. So that's one thing, is Bane is a little bit higher priority, I would say, maybe possibly even over Visage right now. But Na'Vi, they're going to pick up Darkseer, so there's their off lane, and probably one of the strong supports, whether it's Naga Siren or Bane. Either one of those are pretty commonly picked up about right now.
Yeah, and they're gonna use some of their bonus time to think about which one exactly they want to have. I mean, the Visage already picked up by Poseidon. It's a very strong support, but that's kind of it. I mean, it is only a support. Of course, it can be run in different combinations, in aggressive tri-lanes or safe tri-lanes. Both can happen, but it is just one support. Let's see what they can pick up together with that. It's a Nature's Prophet that they end up going for. Nature's Prophet for Xi. We know that he can play that one fairly well. Naga Siren still by Na'Vi, no surprise there. I mean, that was kind of expected for any team actually. That would be in their situation, I think.
Now Poseidon has some pretty good split push. And we're probably going to see them take away some direct early pushers. We got Chen already taken away. Maybe even some sort of mid-game that they don't want to fight up against. It's just so easy with a Nature's Prophet just to be able to run a carry that takes a little bit more time than usual to farm up, just because of the amount of extra time it's brought to you from a Nature's Prophet being able to split push, and also has some decent counter push with that ultimate. So either way, Yeah, we're just waiting out on the bans. This is a really slow draft. Both teams are taking their time against each other. Don't want to make any mistakes in the draft.
No, and it's very important. It's a very important game, more so for Na'Vi than for Poseidon. Poseidon is sitting on the 12th spot right now in StarSeries. They have played 12 games in total, lost 7. So for them, no more chance to go to Kiev. I mean, 7 losses is just way too much to still be in the top 4. 5 wins, which is okay-ish. They are still maybe having a chance if they don't win a couple of more games, or maybe at least one more game. They still have a chance to be having to play regulation matches to still be in Star Series. Of course, the way Star Series works is, of course, the top 4 go to Kiev, but if you're in the bottom 4, you're kind of in a bad position because the bottom 2 get dropped out, no questions asked. You're done for. You go to Pro Series. Number 3 and 4, like lowest, number 3 and 4, so 13 and 14 basically, they have to play up against the number 3 and 4 of the Pro Series, so they have to play to still keep their spot in Star Series, and that's not a situation where you want to be in. So Poseidon, they could use this win, they want to use this win, it would be an upset, but they just want to make sure that they come prepared up against Na'Vi. Na'Vi has lost 3 games so far, and even though that's not bad, they can't really afford to lose them anymore because KP has only lost 1 game, Quantic only lost 2 games, Alliance only lost 2 games, Empire lost 3 games as well. So Na'Vi is actually on the edge of being perhaps 4th, 5th, 6th. You know, that margin, you can't be there. You have to be in the top 4 to go to Kiev. 5 and 6 are not going to Kiev. And Na'Vi, this would be, if they don't go to Kiev, would be the first time that they actually don't go because they didn't qualify. They also didn't win last season, but that was because they were in China. They were actually in the top 4 then. But this season, well, they've only have 8 games played, so they still have a lot of games on their, or needing to be played, of which 3 are today, by the way. Definitely not easy opponents either, because they're going to be up against, well, Poseidon for one, a team that knows Na'Vi, and they're going to be up against Rattlesnake International, aka KP, and Fnatic. So 3 opponents that could potentially make an upset going here. And they need to actually win them all.
Dota TV's on now.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Oh,
every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
I wanted to remind you, but when I thought about it, you were talking, and then I forgot about it when I was talking again. So that's how my brain works. Sorry.
No, you just gotta be like, shut up, capitalist. Shut up. Stop talking right now, because I know you don't have Dota TV on, because I always forget.
Oh, I didn't see anything in the chat.
Bane is picked up.
Oh, check.
Bane picked up by Poseidon. Good counter to Lifestealer, considering Naga Siren is already on Navi's side. Definitely needed that support. Needed something to be able to go through the rage. So now we've got the Enfeeble and also the Ultimate to be able to go through and control the Lifestealer a little bit. Crystal Maiden is finished up for Navi. So now you've got some heavy slows. A little bit of stuns coming out as well between the Ensnare and the Ice Imprisonment. Just some general good team fight all around. And now just look for maybe a Queen of Pain or a, yeah, probably a Queen of Pain. Puck already being banned out. Puck would be actually a really good hero for them because you'd like to be able to have a lot of good control for Lifestealer. That's his biggest thing, is you need control for him. Otherwise, he gets kited around pretty easily. So, but they do need something for a Nake's Bomb, and they do need a mid. So, possibly even Storm Spirit as well if Quap gets banned out.
Yeah. Quap gets
or Poseidon takes it.
Yeah, that's the aggressive mid that Tima Wild would want to have. They still need to carry for Poseidon, and they need indeed the mid for Na'Vi, assuming that Funnick will take on that Darkseer. I like the Crystal Maiden in this one, and I cannot wait to see the setup for Na'Vi, because normally if you have a Naga Siren, you set up for something. So Lifestealer is not really a hero you have to set anything up for, actually, apart from maybe him getting into range. Of course, Darkseer will vacuum is one, but I'm thinking Freezing Field. That's going to be something that I think we're going to see here in this game, and it's going to be having a pretty big impact as well. It's doing a lot of damage, and in terms of things that can actually disable Freezing Field, there's only perhaps, if Nature's Prophet gets a Scythe of Ice, there's that, and there is Bane with a Nightmare and a Fiend's Grip. And if you already have to use those on a Crystal Maiden, then I would say for Na'Vi that's already mission accomplished. So I hope for them that their carry is going to be one that also brings a bit of a disable. I mean, Alchemist is still in the pool, which is something that I wouldn't be surprised in seeing here. Works well together with the Bane as well. And of course, if there is going to be a big AoE fight, I mean, the AoE that Poseidon brings is not nothing. They've got a Sonic Wave, they've got a Nature's Wrath, but standing in Acid Spray would actually help them out quite a bit there as well. So we'll see if they end up going for that. And Na'Vi indeed, hero that does well up against the Queen of Pain. Well, there's still a couple in the pool, including indeed the Storm Spirit, which you mentioned. We'll see if they end up going for that. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they go for a Timber Saw again, though, as they have been liking to play that a lot, even though it hasn't always been successful. They've picked it up quite a few times.
Yeah, Storm Spirit now being banned out, so Na'Vi, they're not going to be able to have a traditional Nake's Bomb hero. In fact, I was actually thinking about the Timber Saw as well, just because he's not the greatest versus Queen of Pain, but versus the rest of the heroes, he has some good synergy between his own team, and he's good versus a lot of these squishier heroes on Poseidon. But instead, we're going to see the Invoker, a much more stationary mid. Interesting.
You know, it's not the first time that we see Invoker this season. I have to say, every time that he's been picked, I'm quite surprised that he actually has been picked. I believe he has not won a single game in StarSeries. And unfortunately, we don't have an Ahaz here to prove me wrong. So I'll just say he hasn't won a single game. I have to say, I think everybody likes watching Denny's Invoker. That's gonna be of course one of the facts here, I think. Invoker up against Queen of Pain is not really a favorable matchup for Invoker, though. Queen of Pain should, in theory, get the upper hand. Of course, Invoker will still get the levels, and he still will do okay-ish, but he won't really win up against the Queen of Pain unless he gets help from his supports. Now, Naga, Siren, Crystal Maiden can definitely roam to try and get a first blood in, and of course, the Frostbite is there to make sure that that Queen of Pain doesn't blink away. And actually, Frostbite is one of the few instant disables that you have that actually will hit before Anti-Mage or Queen of Pain can blink. Because it's just, you know, that fast. And the blink animation from both the Queen of Pain and the Anti-Mage will be too slow. As in, yeah, depending on who clicks first, of course, obviously. But in theory, Crystal Maiden should always be faster with a Frostbite if she's in range. So that is an interesting thing to note. And I'm hoping for Denny that he's going to get some support on his Invoker, that his supports are going to come around to perhaps gank a bit. Anti-Mage for Poseidon is not a hero with a disable, so they actually only have one. And I mean, Na'Vi, they have got a Crystal Maiden and a Naga Siren, so Frostbite and a Slow and a Riptide and then a Snare. It's very neat for Na'Vi, and it's actually making their support combination a bit stronger than Poseidon, even though Visage is such a strong one. I mean, I'm not counting Familiars as disables at the moment, but I know they can disable, obviously, but we'll see. Actually, if Sakura is doing his Visage properly, I mean, I believe the Familiars don't get slept by the song, so if there is a song and Na'Vi is trying to set up for something, perhaps Sakura can make some amazing big plays with those Familiar disables.
Yeah, those can be helpful in kind of just interrupting potential combos, but there is still definitely a large fear between the sleep, the vacuum, and then all the spells that Invoker can put out. Even though it's not a traditional combo, it is very, very powerful. So look for that Exort Invoker. They're going to need the damage this game, I feel. With the Lifestealer hard carry, you need another hero who's going to be able to output a lot of damage. The disables coming out from a more Wex Quas build, not going to be, I mean, they'd be useful versus a Queen of Pain and the Anti-Mage, but damage is really the name of the game here. They need to be able to burst down some of these heroes. They need to be able to take down some of the squishier heroes on Poseidon and push in, because they don't want to take this too late versus an Anti-Mage, especially with an Invoker. Later on, he could be absolutely food. Meanwhile, Poseidon's just going to play a 4 protect 1 strategy with some split push. Look for a lot of single hero ganks. They're going to smoke up and try and pick off heroes left and right, but never really force a whole lot of team fights. You might have some good team fight in Queen of Pain and Visage, but other than that, the rest of the team is much, much better at being able to take down single target heroes. So movement around the map is going to be really key here for Poseidon, as long as they don't get caught, and if they move around well enough, they may be able to actually put Na'Vi in that sort of situation. When you're trying to address split pushes, you actually split up quite a bit, and that leaves openings for ganks from the Bane and the Furion and that sort of thing. So look for that. Either way, it should be a pretty passive laning phase. Defensive tri-lanes from both teams. Darkseer and Furion, neither one of them should really get caught in their off lanes. And the mid, Invoker versus Queen of Pain, that may be where you see your first blood if Dendy makes the right plays, is able to get a good enough cold snap when Crystal Maiden or the Naga Siren come in and gank. In fact, again, I've noticed this about Na'Vi. They rarely pick up smokes. Rarely pick up smokes. In fact, neither team has a smoke early on for their team. Looks like they're both planning on just playing passive and pulling as much as possible.
Yeah, they sometimes pick up smoke when there is something like a Chen or Enchantress, but indeed, otherwise, kind of limited. Let's see who is actually playing what, as we see for Na'Vi on the Radiant side, Kuroki will take on the Naga Siren. In the mid lane, it will be Dendy on his Invoker, no surprise there, as he's wearing puppy sexy hair. 301 kills on his hair. We've got Funnick playing the Darkseer. It looks like he's going to rotate into the jungle straight away, not even trying to do something on the lane. Havos will take on his Lifestealer. Again, no surprise there. Puppy on his Crystal Maiden. And I believe that was one of his most successful ones that we saw yesterday in one of the stats that Nahaz put out for us. And that's everybody for Na'Vi. I'll leave Poseidon to be introduced by you, as we have the rune denied, I believe. No, it's not denied. It's an illusion rune that Funnick will take.
Yep, Tame Mind Wild's going to be on the Queen of Pain, Illidan on that Animage. Jotum's on Bane, Sakura is on the Visage, and that leaves, who's their final one? KSI?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. KSI on the Nature's Prophet. And already we have the very obnoxious level 1 support, Bane, picking up Enfeeble and rotating to mid and putting Enfeeble on Dendy.
Yeah, and the stupid thing is, I mean, Invoker, he got nerfed on his attack damage, and therefore you're kind of forced to go Exort or Blades of Attack, and he actually has himself a no talisman, and he got pulled some tangos and self. But right now, he feels nothing of that extra attack damage that you might be getting from the Exort or the no talisman. He is just really one sad bundle of not really outlast hitting Tame Wild. I don't know really how I'm gonna finish that sentence, but Dendy is at least gonna be pretty sad with that Enfeeble, and well, Tame Wild should hereby get ahead in this lane for sure. If he doesn't get ahead right now, that's gonna be just Dendy outplaying him.
Yeah, Jotum knows there's nothing really to do, especially on the Dire side. You've got Sakura right now. He's completely focused on pulling, and there's no enemy in the lane. Darkseer is obviously committed to his jungle, so might as well be effective in some way. Not going to sit in lane because you don't want to take up too much of that experience, but just get off the occasional Enfeeble and just kind of hurt Dendy's CS. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, instead we got Puppy, who actually went for level 1 Frostbite, and he's using that to be able to stack the hard camp as well as pick off some of the creeps, because Frostbite actually lasts a really long time. You're able to pick off neutrals, so he's already cleared through 2 of the big Centaur and the big Satyr, and now he's going to work on some of the smaller ones, while Kuro, he's going to be focused on pulling and double pulling and getting as much experience as possible there.
Yeah, and since in theory the Darkseer should be getting ahead of the Nature's Prophet in the jungle as well, Na'Vi should be getting ahead of the farm here. I mean, disregarding the farm on the safe laners, of course, that should be fairly even, and as we see, 16 and 17 last hits on both of them, as, wow, Funnick comes around to help Dendy get a rune. Surge helping out there, double damage rune. That's pretty neat to have. Funnick, well, saving Dendy from, well, running quite slow towards that rune. He has not got boots yet, and in theory Queen of Pain of course can be going towards the rune faster because she has Blink. So for Queen of Pain is saving one of the points. He is not actually picking up a point in Scream or Shadow Strike just yet. I mean, Dendy cannot do anything against the Shadow Strikes. I mean, he can't really attempt to dodge them or anything like that. Tame Wild doesn't really want to throw them out either, because the moment that, I mean, Quaspo gets put up, Dendy will regen just very fast. So for now, Tame Wild is just saving up his points, saving up 2 points actually. It really depends on if there's going to be a rotation from supports, I would guess. Now, there we go. Shadow Strike it is. And a Scream. And an Enfeeble. Well, hooray. 8 for 6 for Dendy. Tame Wild 14 for 7. Getting ahead as expected.
Poor Dendy. He's just feeling it. And there's not like, there's not even like any sort of Sunstrike that he can do. There's no ganks going on. There's no other sort of source of gold or experience for him to be able to use Sunstrike with, so he's He's just sitting there just taking a beating from this Enfeeble. But hopefully the supports on Na'Vi are going to be able to make up for the fact, considering they do have an extra camp to be able to pull and mess around with. They're going to get a lot more golden experience out of this laning phase, as you were saying. But the biggest thing is if Sakura can pick up an early level 6, those familiars are going to be really, really strong with the Queen of Pain. Being able to move around the map and help provide a lot of damage for the Queen of Pain ganks. You've got a lot of squishy heroes on Na'Vi. Some of the supports, Crystal Maiden being one of the squishiest supports in the game. Naga Siren, you know, decent tank for a support, but still can easily get cleaved through by the Queen of Pain. Even Invoker isn't the tankiest hero ever, so you've got a lot of opportunities for Queen of Pain to pick off heroes early on when she hits level 8 or level 9.
Yeah, and we see actually the result of Bane still getting some experience in the mid lane. Dendy is level 5.5, while Queen of Pain is sitting almost at level 5 only. There's a half a level difference between these two. And that's actually better for Dendy. Dendy, of course, is an Invoker, is mid because he needs his level fast. Farm fast, okay, that's fine. You can get that on the safe lane in theory as well. But he is mid because mid just gets you those levels fast, as Timo Wild lends some more harassment there. Door? Wow, it's been a while since I've seen that happen in a competitive game. Oh well. I have to open the pizza guide. I have to get the pizza. Anyways, Invoker getting there's the levels. I mean that's really nice for him, and it makes sure that Timo Wild, he's not gonna go roam when he is still level 5. He is, if he wants to try and get kills, he's probably gonna wait to level 6 to 8, have that level 4 screen perhaps, as well as a Sonic Wave, and well, for now, he's just getting delayed that, so that's a good thing for Na'Vi to be having, as we have got still 40 to 42 in comparison to the two carries. Illidan sitting at 43 to 3, while Havos sitting at 41 to 13. So it's very even, though we do have a Hand of Midas up on Havos. No Hand of Midas for the Anti-Mage, of course. In theory, it's going to be okay, because later on, if Anti-Mage gets himself a Battle Fury, he will still be able to catch up with the Hand of Midas Lifestealer. But of course, Lifestealer's idea is to be able to keep up with the Anti-Mage. He has to go for a Hand of Midas, because he can't flash farm as the Anti-Mage. So this is the only way that he can actually go for this. Actually, Cold Snap, Timo Wild tried to blink. Look at that harassment. And that Cold Snap, this just put the blinking animation just every time it resets it. And wow, that actually did a lot of damage to Timo Wild. Has to be careful with that, because maybe next time there's going to be a Crystal Maiden or a Naga Siren around to help out with a Nova or Frostbite or Riptide, and he would be dead.
Well, Timo Wild able to pick up a double damage rune, so he's going to go right back to full health. Going to enjoy that. Meanwhile, Phonic is going to try and put a stomp to this push that's coming in at top. And we'll be able to do so successfully. Anti-Mage already picking up his Claymore. And another 500 gold on top of that. So he's farming really, really well so far. And as you said, Havos had to go for that Hand of Midas, because in static lanes like this, it's always to the advantage of the harder carry, and that's definitely going to be Anti-Mage. Havos, if he's able to farm up well enough, if he's able to get a lot of kills in these team fights and take a gold advantage there, we could see an early Basher and Abyssal, and that'll really help out the lockdown versus the Anti-Mage. But in the meanwhile, he just needs to focus on, you know, keeping up those last hits. Illidan is doing a really great job, especially with his Tranquil Boots. He's taking a lot of those creeps when Sakura is pulling. He's not letting the lane go into the tower at all. This is exactly how you farm with an Anti-Mage.
Yeah, in the meantime, those supports on Na'Vi. Oh, Surge up. Frostbite's there as well. Can they take down the Queen of Pain? First blood is indeed spilled. Even the Darkseer all getting placed just because he thought it was needed, but I don't think it was needed in the end. Still, first blood goes the way of Dendy with some help. The Surge up for Frostbite, so strong. And that blink animation is just too much. In the meantime, the Bane rotates bottom to try and stop the push from happening, but in comes Avos, in comes an Ensnare, and down goes the Bane. So 2 kills go on the way of Na'Vi. And that might have just set the tone for Na'Vi. They might have just continued to go on being aggressive here, as the tier 1 tower will fall. And Puppy rocking past the sentry ward, but oh well.
Yeah, that's a big difference between Darkseer and Furion. Darkseer is easily able to move to his off lane and be able to address pushes. Furion not so much, just because a lot of times, as you see, he's picked up a Hand of Midas. He doesn't have boots, and if he teleports in, he has no escape mechanism immediately. So he has a little bit of a harder time stopping some of these pushes. He can, summon it. He can teleport to the tier 2 and summon Nature's Call, but that honestly isn't going to be enough compared to the Ion Shell that Darkseer provides. They do take a tier 1 at top because Darkseer was away, ganking middle and now rotating into the bottom lane. But either way, they're trying once again to gank Time My Wild. But unfortunately, the Ensnare not able to go off in time.
Yeah, the smoke was already revealed too early, and Time My Wild got a bit of a warning, so was able to back off in time. As Bane again, what the hell is he doing here? Well, he died way too far on the wrong end of the tower. I mean, he is still level 3. He can't stand up against level 9 Lifestealer. It's just not possible. Really wondering why he was out that far. That was just a bit of a misplay from him. As he goes down for the second time this game, we have got Kuroki coming in from the side. He has got the song. Could try and use it to set up for an ensnare perhaps, or something like that. For Sunstrike, of course, for a Meteor to fall, as we have got some people disconnecting. Blink away from Time My Wild. Pup picks up himself. And a pause coming off from Puppy to wait for the Starladder TV casters. Well, how about those manners, right?
I have lots and lots of manners this game. Yeah, I don't know why Bane is going bottom, because as you said, there's no way for him to deal with the lifestealer. Maybe if Furion was here bottom and you had an extra that extra hero as a support, just being able to sit back, and if they try and go on Furion, then you can come forward with your sleep and either use it for the 1 second of invulnerability on the Furion, or wait for Lightsteel to run out of his rage and then sleep him. Either way, they need at least 2 heroes here bottom.
Yeah.
And Bane rotating again to bottom. I mean, he's just begging to die. But hopefully this time Poseidon will be a little bit more aware of this and maybe have some teleports up and ready.
Yeah. Oh. The disconnects go on straight away, so waiting again for Casper and co. I think that Kuroki is going to be able to get a kill here. I mean, he's got Riptide level 3, he's got an ensnare coming up from the fog, and there will be a Sunstrike. I mean, you can't really do anything about that if you're Queen of Pain. If you're stuck, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. I mean, 3 seconds is enough to take down or put down a Sunstrike. And indeed, like you said, I mean, this Bane has been sacrificing a lot of his levels to be there in mid. And right now, he should be the one to try and counter push a level 9 Lifestealer. No, that's not gonna work. Even the Visage is still level 5. And look at the difference, right, between the supports. We had a Jungling Crystal Maiden who was level 6. We had a Naga Siren who was able to get her levels from pulling a stacking almost level 7. And right now, I mean, the level 3 and level 5 on Poseidon supports is actually hurting them quite a bit, because both these supports have got level 6 and has a big impact. I'm talking about Fiend's Grip, of course, and Familiars. And I'm actually thinking Nature's Prophet, why doesn't he rotate bottom to try and pull the creep wave behind the tower and tank it up there? I mean, he has his hand at Midas. He's gonna be getting some farm one way or another, and I think he might be the right person for the job, considering he won't die in 3 hits from the Lifestealer. And in theory, I mean, he can even teleport out if he wants to, considering Lifestealer can't really stop him from doing that, unless he kills him in time, of course. But this Bane is just free food, I'd say.
Yep, and I'm wondering how long they're going to wait. I mean, even once you have Battle Fury on Animage, it's not like you can wait till he has Battle Fury and then start trying to shut him down. But they have the greatest heroes to be able to do so. And the Crystal Maiden is a really good option with when she has maxed out Frostbite. That's a really good leading stun if Darkseer gives her the haste. And you've also got the ensnare coming out from Naga Siren. But other than that, like Lifestealer, it's doubtful that he's ever going to rotate his lane. So we're probably going to see more of just 5-man grouped up, pushing down towers one by one, just taking the tier 1, tier 2 of each lane and rotating over. And that's going to free up a lot of room. That's sort of easy to spot everyone on Na'Vi. It's going to free up a lot of room for Animage to be able to just continue to free farm. And honestly, he's going to be picking up his, after Battle Fury, he's going to be able to pick up his Manta pretty quickly. Yeah. I feel that there's no way that Navi's really going to be able to shut him down, but their biggest strength is team fights and being able to push in. So even once he has Manta, it still isn't assured that they're going to be able to win these team fights and stop the Na'Vi push.
Yeah, and in comes the ensnare here up on Tame Wild. Sunstrike as well, 1 kill being done. Ooh, Kuroki will still die for that though. Sonic Wave and Nature's Wrath helping out for that, as well as the tower getting the last hit. So in the end it's a 1-for-1. That was, by the way, the first kill that Poseidon got. But it is Queen of Pain still dead for the second time this game, and I think we can definitely safely say that Dandy, who is sitting on 27-27, has definitely won this lane, even though he is still slightly behind on last hits compared to the Queen of Pain. But having 2 kills is, well, pretty neat.
Gonna make up for it.
For sure. Bane level 4. He's trying to hide himself, it looks like, trying to make sure that people don't know that he is there. Though if he shows himself, Lifestealer is right around the corner. It doesn't look like he'll show himself just yet, though. Avos going back inside the Radiant jungle, as Phonics sitting at level 8, almost having his mechanism ready, just needs about 600 gold or 550 gold. Rather, Nature's Prophet, he is not the one to go for the mechanism this game. It should rather be the Bane or the Visage, and that's gonna be taking a long time. And that might make an even bigger difference. I mean, you already said Na'Vi want to try and team fight, and one of the things that you could really use if your enemies are trying to team fight is just make sure you have the sustainability to live through their burst. The mechanisms are kind of needed for that, and right now, Poseidon, they're a long way away from having one.
Yep, Armlet finished up by Havost. So he's, that's the one advantage, is that you can actually take and start clearing out the jungle much faster than Animage can. Rotate in, even if it's early on, and being able to use your Infest. Gives you a lot of extra CS there, but Battle Fury is finished up. That's an 11-minute Battle Fury. Illidan, about 2 minutes ahead of schedule of where an acceptable Battle Fury would be picked up, so really good timing by him. But also the Armlet picked up by Havos is really well timed as well, so maybe we're going to see some rotations. Not necessarily the Invoker doesn't need to move out of his lane. I think he can continue to shut down the Queen of Pain pretty heavily, but we may... maybe we want to see them push down the tier 2 in this bottom lane that they're already taking, and Favos can whittle that down. And then rotate the tri lane up to this top lane. Try and just kind of slow down Animage's farm a little bit. Because you can take away his lane and his jungle, and that forces him to go bottom instead. And that's just a little bit more riskier play. You might play a little bit more passive, and the result is a little bit less farm. So either way, I think they need a little bit more passive, not necessarily actively ganking the Animage, but just being in his lane to try and shut him down a little bit.
I got a bit of a Braveheart feeling right there. You can take away his lane, you can take away his farm, but you can never take away his Battle Fury! Sorry, that's the same. Entourage pushing the tier 2 actually. In comes the Tame Wild, so if someone comes to try and defend this, perhaps Tame Wild wants to make something happen. Ooh. Crystal Maiden already coming in with a Nova. They know where Illidan is. He jumps forward into the trees. They're on the hunt, actually. They really want to take him down. It's going to be a tricky thing. In the meantime, the tier 1 tower mid gets some pressure from Na'Vi as Anti-Mage can... Oh, he actually just links back. Nice mind games right there. Tame Wild is going to be the one to rotate back towards the tier 2, letting his tier 1 fall by the looks of it. They can't really fight this. It's too much team fight coming off from Na'Vi. The potential is too big for Tame Wild to be able to do something here. So he rotates away. Familiars are going to try to slow it down, but, you know, tower will fall. And Illidan, or sorry, yeah, Illidan, still having having a bit of an issue with here. Oh, they're using actually the courier to scout. They can't find him anymore though. He's back already towards the secret shop. Na'Vi just continues pushing mid. As long as they're not getting stopped, why should they?
Well, Dendi looks like he's going to be focused a little bit more on some of these disables. He's got a Quas Wex build, which I was expecting damage, considering the fact you've already got disables from the Crystal Maiden and the Naga Siren. I feel that's enough that you can go straight damage versus Poseidon. Oh, unfortunately, Funnick barely missed out on the vacuum at bottom.
Yeah.
But either way, this is going to combo well with the Darkseer. Oh. Illidan barely getting out in time. Sunstrike almost landed on him.
Yeah, Ring of Protection gets left behind. Interesting. We have got Dendi with drums and face, so high mobility build as we normally see him go for. So expect Blink Dagger and Force Staff to be the next top for grabs for Dandy, as we still have Kuroki here. He actually got put in a nightmare. They can't really go in on it. They just try to stop them from going in as Nature's Prophet goes down the bottom lane. Freezing field being used for that. Puppey taking a kill with it as well. Clean kill, very simple kill as a basher is being built up by a Vos. In the meantime, Cold Snap. Nope, not gonna get a kill. In comes a slow up on Kuro though. He has got a song, we'll use it. Get himself away. Familiar disables, trying to slow his exit, but he will still be able to TP out afterwards, so he's fine.
Yep, smart decision. Very, very conservative play. Making sure he doesn't get picked off. Meanwhile, the tier 2 falls at bottom. And Na'Vi is beginning to take a serious gold lead because of all the extra towers they're taking. They're not picking up much extra farm. It's pretty back and forth in that regards, but all the extra towers is exactly what Na'Vi is ahead from. 5,000 gold already. And now, Lifestealer already building into that Basher. Knows he's going to need some disable of his own to be able to deal with the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's looking actually pretty crazy on the gold grab in favor of Na'Vi. Anti-Mage has a lot of pressure on him because he is the one that's supposed to be carrying Poseidon later on in the game, and the Nature's Prophet definitely should be playing a role as well, but he is... well, he is going to be far away from being able to do that, and I think actually Anti-Mage will come online earlier to try and make something happen here, but for now... well, it's quite risky for Poseidon. They can't really have the freedom anymore to farm anywhere they want to. The control with taking down the tier 1 towers is now mostly in the hands of the Na'Vi. As Wild gets forced to blink himself away. In comes a Sunstrike though! Boom! It's only level 1 exort. That's not enough. But oh well, Sunstrike hit. That's already something. Queen of Pain. Ooh! Invites into a creep. Vos not able to find Wild here around the corner.
Yeah, fortunately that little rabbit hole went pretty deep, allowing him to be able to juke farther and farther, and by the time that Hobos could finally catch up to him, Blink would have been up. So, really lucky for Tame My Wild. Otherwise, he might have gotten picked off there if he just run into a dead end. Either way, though, it looks like Poseidon, they're grouping up a little bit more, trying to make sure that the Anti-Mage is able to finish up his free farm. Now has Treads on top of the Battle Fury. But we're getting about the time where Na'Vi is probably going to start rotating, especially since they took that tier 2 at bottom. There's no reason for them to sit in that lane anymore. So we see all of Na'Vi actually grouping up. They're going to 5-man push in top. And this could be a great team fight for them. Because it looks like Poseidon is pretty grouped up as well. But I think they were just looking for being able to counter-initiate. Oh, jumping on Jottam.
Oh, Fiend's Grip still there. Nice vacuum though. Funny coming in from the rear, taking down the Bane, looking for the Anti-Mage. Is it gonna be enough? Yes, it is. You shall not blink. Too much disable coming off here from Na'Vi. Double kill for Funnick. Puts down the wall for it, but all worth it. That's gonna be the last outer tower for Poseidon dead. And with that, Anti-Mage farm not only slowed down because he died, but also just his farming range. Where can he farm? The Dire Jungle is no longer safe. Ancient's not really safe and actually kind of blocked at the moment also by Na'Vi. So they're just making sure that he will have trouble farming anywhere apart from on the lane. And if he's on the lane, he's gankable. And that's what Na'Vi is going for.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there from Furion. He tried to courier snipe without his Shadow Blade. But now he picks it up. And unfortunately it's too little too late at this point. But either way, they're going to, Force Staff is now up on Invoker, so we got a little bit more mobility, got some good initiation. He's beginning to build a little bit more into Exort now, getting some extra damage from there. Vlad's picked up by Anti-Mage as well. I'm a little bit surprised he went for Vlad's. It makes use of the extra ring of regen that you have from your early Tranquil Boots, but it's also another farming item. I really feel that going straight for something like a BKB here is best. He has a lot of disables he has to worry about. And a BKB, there aren't many disables that are going to be able to go through that. That's just ensnare. Everything else he'd be able to clear through.
In the meantime, Poseidon took a tier 1 tower in exchange for their own tier 2. And as you said, Na'Vi, they have grouped up. And they're not actually looking to back off from this tier 3 top. They have grouped up apart from Avos, who's still sitting mid. He has got a Basher, he has got face boots. He would be able to be back with his team in no time if he decides to rotate top. As Illidan actually comes in. He has to be so careful here because if he is caught out, if he dies right now, it's almost over. In comes a Frostbite, Cold Snap, Meteor, Vacuum as well into the wall. Down goes the Anti-Mate, down goes the familiar, for Visage rather. Double kill for Dandy, and that's gonna be Tema Wild, the only one left here in between the tier 3 tower and Na'Vi, and it doesn't look like he's even gonna try. It doesn't look like he can try. I mean, he has a Sonic Wave, but what's he gonna do up against 5 heroes of Na'Vi that are still sitting on pretty good HPs actually. Avos rages up, goes for Medvet, opens up, Bane down, no Nightmare to save his life, and Snare, Vacuum, Queen of Pain down already before the EMP can hit. That's a double kill for Avos. And I think that Na'Vi is going to be sitting pretty comfortably inside Poseidon's base and have no intention of leaving.
Yeah, that was pretty silly. Pretty silly play there by Poseidon, getting caught like that. They just needed to try and turtle as much as possible. Use the Queen of Pain ultimate to be able to kill the creep wave quickly. But unfortunately, it looks like they're going to lose the racks here. There's not much they can really do about this. Na'Vi, they're just way too strong right now.
Yeah, and if they win another fight, it can be just over. In comes a Vac, down goes the Bane. Anti-Mage Mana Void before he dies, but he does. I mean, he does some kind of damage, but doesn't actually kill anybody. And with the urn already by Kuroki, who still has 5 charges left, I mean, they don't need to back up. They've got a mechanism. They're just fine here. They'll take the racks. Yeah, nice deny, Timo Wild. At least you got that one. But, I mean, racks are still down. It's 14-1. And Poseidon feels that they still have a chance with their anti-mage dying 3 times in a row. We'll see. We'll see. Tier 2 tower still ends up going down the bottom lane. Deny regardless, but perhaps some potential for split pushing for Nature's Prophet opens up.
Yep, again, I feel that Animage need to go for teamfight items immediately after he picked up the Battle Fury. Something like a BKB gives you a lot more sustainability, allows you to actually be some sort of force, some sort of factor in these team fights, rather than just a hero that blinks in, gets disabled immediately, and falls. And also the fact that they got caught out a little bit too much, they end up losing racks pretty easily. Now Na'Vi just gonna continue to stay grouped up, push down middle, which still has that tier 2, and possibly rotate down to bottom. You usually want to push in the side lanes. If you take top, you usually want to push in bottom after that, just because of the distance between the 2 lanes makes it more of an advantage for you when the creep wave pushes in. But either way, they're just going to be able to take some extra gold, and it's still going to be a long time before Animage is able to put a stop to this. I mean, I know he wants to be able to pick up his Manta, and it's a serious upgrade to his damage, but you've got a lot of AoE coming out from Na'Vi that even once he has that, he's going to need at least Heart. At the very least, he needs Heart to be able to, after that, to be able to survive through this team fight of Na'Vi and be able to do any sort of damage.
Yeah, because even if he gets a BKB, the Song of the Siren will be put on the moment that he pops his BKB, and he is going to be the only target. And Na'Vi is going to be having the damage to take him down still, even though, well, Avos, I mean, he's still having an Abyssal, so good luck with that. He is actually diving the enemy's base right now, goes for Sakura. In comes a Fiend Script though, but where's the damage? No damage there. And in comes Dandy, mighty fast with his Aghanims now. That's going to be 1 Bane already dead. Vacuum there as well, double kill for Phonic. And that makes it 16-1. Infest out, getting some more health up on Vos, who runs in towards his teammates who are just bailing on him. They're actually going bottom because that's where Poseidon was. Sonic Wave comes out, Timo Wild is forced to blink himself away, blinks himself right into the hands of Kuroki though, and he dies. Mega killing streak for Dandy as he takes another kill. Now 3 dead on Poseidon. But at least they killed off our Lifestealer. Lifestealer died in... Oh, he died actually because he stuck around for too long. Mana Void got the better of him in the mid lane earlier on.
Yeah, you know, I felt that Na'Vi was just... could have just completely committed and taken down all the racks.
I thought so too.
Because there's no way that Poseidon would be able to take down even 2 sets of racks before Na'Vi is finished up and can teleport back. So... they wanted to play it a little bit more safe, though, and make sure that they protected their top racks. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a good initiation. It's a power of Naga Siren, being able to activate Song of Siren and then teleport in with it, allowing you to be able to have that instant disable. Unfortunately, all of Poseidon is just way too mobile. They only were able to lock down the Queen of Pain both the Anti-Mage and the Furion were able to get out. So that really wasn't worth their rotation. If they had gotten 2, maybe even just the Anti-Mage instead of the Queen of Pain, would have been worth it. But unfortunately, that just was not the case. And maybe a little bit of a mistake there from Na'Vi.
Yeah.
Courier getting picked off by KSI.
No, by Illidan, I think. Oh, KSI was the wrong location. He killed off something else then. Oh, he killed off... I don't know what he killed off. Anti-Mage killed something. Oh well. Nice pickup, nice snipe.
A nice Ancient stack.
Nice Ancient stack for Anti-Mage to take indeed. Na'Vi. We'll find out though, but they're already a bit too late to try and do anything about it. Dandy coming in. He's going for an Orchid. Of course, making sure that enemies cannot blink away from his might. As Na'Vi, after, I mean, it's the logical proceedings. Outer towers down, go for Roshan. Of course, they kind of skipped that step once they went for the Rex on the top lane, but that was kind of a freebie that they couldn't pass up on. But now they have an Aegis up on Avos and Hyperzone as well. It's just looking pretty grim for Poseidon at this moment. Do you feel still that they have a chance? And if so, how would they come back from this one?
It takes Na'Vi making a big mistake when they push in. They already made one earlier, I feel, but this time, I mean, they're already taking the mid-racks before Poseidon is in a position to be able to either A, defend, or B, push in some sort of racks of their own, so I don't think this game should be over.
Oh, here comes the Fiend's Grip, but the vacuum cancels that one. Funnick with another kill added to the board. BKB turned on by Puppey. Frostbite, that's Queen of Pain, Dad. And that's indeed a Crystal Maiden that hasn't died a single time this game. And it's sitting on 2 to 0 to 10, so pretty big as we see Visage still going down. Double kill for Funnick. Tier 3 tower being attempted here. As a Rex drop in the middle lane, no surprise there. Anti-Mage alive there. And actually, they want to try to stop the split push that's happening because KSI is going to be there. And also Anti-Mage is actually on the bottom racks, hitting on the melee. I mean, that's the only thing they can actually do, as Nature's Prophet will end up going down to a solo Naga Siren. I don't think he can TP out in time. No, there he goes. Anti-Mage got the Rex bottom, but he is going to be fighting Mega Creep soon because down goes the Rex on the top lane, or bottom lane on the side of Poseidon. And in comes kills in the fountain. I mean, this is over. Aegis gets burned, then he still takes some damage from the fountain, but this is already fountain diving happening right now. Maybe actually, see, do you think he can? Maybe he wants to, he can, no, he can't. Anti-Mage already forced a blink away. There's no way that they can backdoor this. They cannot try to take down those tier 4 towers. Then he gets himself a kill on the Anti-Mage, who buys back instantly. Nature's Prophet forced to TP himself back home as he walks to a Darksteel wall because it was still there. And Anti-Mage actually jumps himself into battle. Almost dies for it, as now Avos will actually die for real this time, but at least he'll take a Queen of Pain with him. Down he goes. Bane with the last hit. Funnick now tries to surge himself out. Slow is already there. Can they do enough damage is a question. In comes the Soul Assumption as well. But he's just way too fast. Mantis Tau gets popped. Mana gets burned. Is it enough? There's no Mana Void for another 15 seconds though. And Funnick juking this out. He will live, or at least he'll be able to delay Poseidon long enough for creep waves to push into the base and
turns around and did not.
Oh, it's like right in your face, literally.
I mean, he probably could have survived given the fact that Kuro and Puppey were rotating over, but
yep.
Oh well.
Oh well, that's just the state of the game this is in. I mean, they can just play with their food right now because they have kind of won this game. Mega Creeps is not something that you come back from easily, and even though look at Timo Wild, he's fighting creeps and he's losing. Barely winning, rather. But, I mean, even though Nature's Prophet and Anti-Mage in theory can maybe try to split push and, you know, go for tier 4s and such, it's just, they don't have the resilience to stand up against those Mega Creeps. It's just not possible. The lanes are not going to be pushed out anytime soon. Timo Wild silencing up Kuroki so that he can actually run himself back to base under the harassment of the creeps, but, I mean, they are indeed... Look at that! That's a kill! And just to give an indication, this range creep is hitting for 133 damage. Well, for example, the Visage hits for 75, Bane hits for 72, and even Queen of Pain only hits slightly higher than that range creep. As Anti-Mage gets stuck inside the Darksteel wall and goes down. Monster kill for Funnick. Kuroki So taking some damage. In comes the song. In comes the GG as well. I mean, if it wasn't clear for anybody just yet, let it be clear now. Na'Vi takes themselves a win. The needed win up against Poseidon. We're gonna see them twice again today. But those will be the last 2 games of today. So first we're gonna see Alliance taking on Menace.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Poseidon just made some small errors. I still feel that going the damage output, like Vlad's and Yasha into Manta, was the wrong approach for Animage. And against this sort of lineup, there's so much aggression from Na'Vi and so much good team fight that all it takes is one mistake and they're gonna take a Rax, and then you're pretty much on the ropes from there. So it was somewhat close for Poseidon. If they maybe been able to control that first push that came in a little bit better and just delayed it, they could have had a good opportunity to stay in this game for much longer. But unfortunately, just small errors is all it takes against Na'Vi.
Yep. Let's see if Alliance can get themselves a win in up against Menace. It will be, of course, our next game, game 2 of 6 that we see today. So stick around for more Star Ladder action. We'll be right back with, well, another game of Dota.